Hey, what's going on? This is Coach Marcus, Pro Fan Talk. I wanted to address a situation that came up a couple days ago with Shedeur Sanders and this guy, Tony Grossi. Grossi. I think it's pronounced Grossi. But he's an old school reporter up in Cleveland, been covering the teams and the Cleveland sports for a long time. So he's got some respect in the game. He's an old school type dude. But his overall, at least it seems like to me, now I've heard some of his comments before, and it seems like the optics are his overall commentary on Shedeur has been mostly negative, where he tries to spin it, well, he's a 5th round draft pick, blah, blah, blah. He's not going to have this. He's not going to have that. And it seems like most of his commentary on Shedeur is on the negative aspect of it. And then Shedeur has the game he had, the first preseason game, and he sees Grossi in the tunnel going to the locker room, and they address each other.
I be hoping you got something positive to say about me. You only say negative stuff about me. And I'm like, I ain't do nothing to you. No, don't do that. I ain't see nothing positive that you ever say. I think I'm positive every day. What I'm saying, come on, Tony. What I do to you, Tony?
A lot of people want to perceive it like, or no, if you saw the video clip, then you know how it went down. It wasn't negative. It wasn't a shouting match. It wasn't a confrontation. Far from it. Shedeur was very light with it, lighthearted with it, kind of joking with it. And Grossi received it that way and kind of gave it back. So it was not adversarial. It was not confrontational whatsoever. But it was cool that Shedeur addressed it the way he addressed it, because the dude has been negative. Now, on the flip side, he's welcome to his opinion. And even though it might slant on the negative side of it, a lot of what he said isn't wrong. But sometimes you know how it works in this day and age, especially with social media. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. That's how it comes across. That's how you get the attention. Let's keep it a buck. But in this situation, I wanted to bring this back because you don't see this a lot anymore. And I had nothing wrong with it on either side of it. If you don't like the way Shedeur has been playing, it is his right to say it. It is his opinion. I get to say my favorite quote again. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. He got one. Shedeur got one. I got one. You got one. That's the way it goes. My opinion is not to change your mind. His opinion is not to change your mind. He just calling it like he sees it. I say the same thing. Hey, I call it like I see it. I'm trying to keep it a buck. He's doing the same thing. But here's the thing. Here's where the old school part comes in. And this is where I credit Shedeur and I credit Tony Grossi, because this is an old school situation. Back in my day, when I was with the Eagles back in 93, 94, there was no social media. So if somebody from the Philadelphia Inquirer had written something bad about you, they had to see you in the locker room, because most of them were beat reporters. You had to show up in the locker room. You didn't get the feed on YouTube. You didn't get to ask your questions on a Zoom call. You had to be on site. And I can tell you, there were some uncomfortable conversations, but the reporters at the time had to stand on business. And that's exactly what they did, whether you agreed with it or not. If they wrote it, they felt some kind of way, and they wrote what they wrote, and they had to stand on it, because that following Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever, they had to go in that locker room and they had to look that person face to face. This was a prime opportunity. Shedeur didn't like what was said, so he addressed the dude face to face. And he had an answer for it, and it was lighthearted and all that kind of stuff, but at least now he knows. You know what I mean? It might not change a thing, but props to Shedeur for addressing the situation, and props to Tony Grossi for answering it. This is the one thing that annoys the hell out of me out of this generation. If you don't agree, it's all or nothing. Y'all don't agree with me. I don't like you. I don't want to hear from you. It's almost like it's my way or the highway. That is a very spoiled and conceited point of view. My point of view, my perspective is different. I've told you mine is different. I played. I was in the locker room. My perspective is different. If you never played football, if you were never in a locker room, if you were never in a film session or a team meeting or anything like that, if you've never seen your head coach get fired, If you've never seen those things, your perspective is going to be skewed a little bit. And that's cool. That's just the way that it goes. So I was so happy to see this kind of an old school interaction. And that's the way it's supposed to work. Tony, if you don't like what Shedeur is, you can write what you want to write. If you don't like how he's playing, write it, stand on it, put your name on it. And that's why I can't get mad at the dude if I don't agree with him. And a lot of stuff he says, I don't agree with. A lot of stuff he says, I do. But just because I don't agree with him, don't mean I can't stand the guy and that I'll never listen to him. That's the problem with sports radio now. That's why you got so much turnover in the media, the radio stations, and all that kind of stuff. Because now it's all about who's popular, not about what you got to say. Because some of the most popular people are idiots. They don't follow the sport. They don't study film. They get a bunch of stats shoved in front of their face and they just read it. I would rather listen to somebody I didn't necessarily agree with if I know he watches the game. Because at the end of the day, we watching the same thing. How did you get your perspective? This is mine. So good on both of them. Good on Shedeur. Good on Tony Grossi to have an interaction like that, an old school interaction where you ain't always got to agree with one another. Everybody got their own opinion.